y'all.
Hello.
Hola, mi amigos.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Which feels very strange to say on December 1st when we're recording this.
Right.
Because that feels like a hate crime. This year flew by. Like, it was just February. Like, I feel like I was just at the Taylor Swift concert. I was just there.
It has flown by, but I think it's because I stayed so freaking busy.
That's true. Anyway, so today...
We're so tired.
Maybe Danny's right. He's like, you can tell y'all are super tired by that last one.
So the last episode of every month, and then in this case, the first episode of the month, you can tell that it's late. It is currently 12:56.
Yeah. A.M.
In the dark time.
Yeah. Alright. So... we're talking about some weird inventions. This idea, because like we were just sitting here like, why did we pick this? This is kind of random and weird. But way back when, was it like episode 2 we did that? The Victorian era sex toys? Yeah. This was where that idea came from, because we wanted to kind of do something very similar, but not the same, because I think that one, we milked it dry. There was nothing else to come from that one. So this is Weird Inventions.
It's going to be kind of humorous. I figured, this is going to be one of those things where we talk about it. I think Brittany goes more in depth with her stuff than I did with mine, because I kind of was just like, this is the thing. And this is what I think about it. Because they're pretty humorous. The ones that I picked out anyway.
Yeah, some of mine are too. So I guess I'll get the ball rolling. How many did you have?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
I think you have like one more than I do.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and start.
One or two.
My first one is the Urban Window Baby Cage. And some of y'all might, like, photos of this, like, circulates on Facebook and stuff every once in a while.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
No. So during the rise of tuberculosis cases in the early 1900s, there was the belief that open air and ventilation were key in fighting the epidemic. This led to open-air schools for children, and inspired the creation of baby cages, also called as a health cage. It was originally invented by Mrs. Robert C. Lafferty in order to provide babies with fresh air and sunshine while living in crowded and bustling cities. In 1908, at the recommendation of a doctor who insisted that babies needed fresh air, Eleanor Roosevelt attached a kind of box with wire on the sides and top to the outside of one of her back windows of her New York apartment. This was a place for her firstborn, Anna, to take her morning naps. It was this same doctor, though, who said to leave babies crying, and even though she was following his advice, the neighborhood was alerted by the wailing child and threatened to report the mother to the New York Society for Prevention of Cruelty Towards Children. In later years, Roosevelt reported, and I think she wrote about this in her autobiography, how she was shocked by the reaction of the neighbors, stating that she just thought she was being a modern mother. In 1922, Emma Reed submitted a patent application for a portable baby cage, which was intended to be suspended on the external edge of a window with the baby placed inside. The use of baby cages was quite popular in London during the 1930s, when there were many children who lived in the city without gardens, and these baby cages were handed out to every member of communities without gardens by the Chelsea Baby Club. But at the beginning of World War II, however, the Battle of Britain ended the use of baby cages in all of London. But they did have a bit of resurgence in 1953, but weren't as popular as it was in previous years. And the sale of baby cages progressively declined through to the mid-1990s, which I did not think they lasted that long. But most likely they phased out due to safety concerns and the rise of urban auto traffic.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and all that smog.
So the first one I've got is Siamese dancing shoes.
I almost did this one. It was too weird.
These shoes are joined at the toe. So like picture shoes that are like toe to toe with each other, and they're like together, like they're made together. So it's like two pairs of shoes in one. They were designed specifically for ballroom dancing by Jeffrey Watson in 1981 to help dancers stay synchronized in step. But I feel like I would fall on my damn face either way. And also, my thought on this was, I wonder if the toe boxes are closed off or if they're open and you're just playing toesies the whole time.
Touching little toesies.
Ew.
Ew.
All right. But that's all I got for that.
The mass shaving machine.
Don't be rude, Amara.
Invented in the 19th century, the mass shaving machine could shave 12 men at one time. This was during a time when the walrus mustaches and beards were declining in popularity, and it became much more socially acceptable for men to be clean-shaven. Due to these morning rituals being so time-consuming, it became quite common for men to stop in at the barber's for a clean shave and a shoe shine. The issue was that only one barber could serve one person at a time. So the solution to this issue was a group shaving machine, which could seat several men in a row. First, the machine would apply the shaving foam to all of their faces, and next, a large blade would be used to trim their facial hair. And in theory, it could shave 12 men at one time. In 1960, Eric Sykes, a English comedian, demonstrated the device for an unaired TV pilot for a series about 1800s innovations. And one of the major reasons for its ultimate commercial failure, which was highlighted in that comedy special, was that it could not alter its movements according to different face shapes. So this would mean that results would be uneven, and at worst, with a large blade coming at your face, probably going to get cut.
Right.
Yeah. So that was no bueno.
Right.
That was not good.
Well, my next one, and if you see a picture of this one, you'll totally get it. It's called the Spaghetti Aid.
I feel like I saw this one.
Hold on.
But I don't know that I saw a picture of it.
This giant fork with a crank attached to it makes it, quote unquote, easier to twirl your nudes around the fork for eating. However, I feel like this looks like more of like a deranged torture device at this point.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, this item has returned to the market in recent years, but it is now battery powered. I've included a picture of the original and also one of the more recents. This first hit the market around 1955, and it was brought out by amateur American inventor Russell E. Oakes.
I'm just sitting over here watching Amara. She's having a hard time keeping her eyes open.
Same.
It's past her bedtime. My next one is the face glove. And it is as terrifying as it sounds. So from an advertisement from 1895 demonstrating the face glove. Madam P. Rowley's toilet mask, or face glove, is a natural beautifier for bleaching and preserving the skin and removing complexional imperfections.
Okay.
It is soft and flexible in form and can be easily applied and worn without discomfort or inconvenience. It is recommended by eminent physicians and scientists as a substitute for injurious cosmetics. Complexion blemishes may be hidden imperfectly by cosmetics and powder, but can only be removed permanently by the toilet mask. By its use, every kind of spots, impurities, roughness, etc. vanish from the skin, leaving it soft, clear, brilliant, and beautiful. It is harmless, costs little, and saves pounds uselessly expended for cosmetics, powders, lotions, etc. It prevents and removes wrinkles, and it is both a complexion preserver and beautifier. To be worn 3 times in the week. Mrs. P. Rowley, The Toilet Mask Company, Berwick House, 139 Oxford Street, London. I just like that little touch. That's why I added it. I kept it in there. Developed at the turn of the 20th century, this is an eerie-looking mask often referred to as a face glove. It was designed to be used by ladies of refinement to beautify and preserve youthful skin while also removing blemishes and imperfections. The major issue with this unproven treatment was its resulting health issues. It was originally designed for medicinal purposes, as claimed by its inventor, Madam Helen M. Rowley, and was originally made from flexible Indian rubber and was meant to be worn overnight. The science behind its claims was that the mask would encourage the opening of pores through perspiration, and with the masks growing in popularity, other companies began to make their own versions. And this is where the problem ensued. Unfortunately, materials such as asbestos, sulfur, and lead were used, which made the masks very hazardous and caused more skin problems than they were meant to cure.
And honestly, looking at a picture of it, it reminds me of like the paper sheet masks or whatever that they make now. The next one that I have is called the chain smoker.
I saw this one too.
If
Did we use the same article?
Probably. If you are one that smokes and just one cig at a time doesn't do the trick, or you're on a mission to speed up the lung cancer COPD train, never fear. This invention allows you to hit at least 10 at the same time. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine? Hold on. Stay with me. Can you imagine packing that thing with devil lettuce wraps?
Oh, somebody's probably done that.
That's surely a recipe for a trip to not just the moon, but like a whole other dimension altogether.
You get to see all of the universe.
Like, okay, so like, right. So like, you picture like the old timey, like old Hollywood, like the long cigarette things, but it's like that, but it's got like, this picture that I included.
They're sticking out of the top of it, right?
Yeah, the picture that I included, it looks like it's got 2 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 each. So that's 20 cigarettes in one.
Ugh.
That makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, the thought of that. I was also reminded of today.
Can you imagine like the what do you call it? Like if you're a menthol smoker, the menthol burn from
especially the ones I used to smoke. I was reminded today of a sensation that I totally forgot about because somebody mentioned that like somebody in the family like that is a smoker like will only smoke just a little bit of their cigarette and then put it out and then go back to it later, and I'm like, that is foul.
Disgusting.
I was like, that is the most foul thing I have ever heard you say about this and this person.
Disgusting.
And I was like, because that is not only the nastiest tasting thing, that is the smelliest thing.
Yes.
I was like, those cigarettes smell way worse than any other cigarettes. If it's already been lit and you're relighting it, and not only do they do this once, they do this like several times. They don't sit and smoke a whole cigarette. And I'm like, that's gross. That's nasty.
So they relight the same cigarette multiple times?
Yes. They will only smoke a little bit of it. And I'm like, at this point,
just quit.
Either just don't smoke the cigarette and just go get you a vape if that's what you're into. But I don't know. Whatever slaps your bitch. But that is I think that's gross.
Oh.
Anyway, the Dynasphere. So in the early 1930s, it was thought that the future of the car was that it only had one wheel. But in this instance, the car was the one wheel. The Dynasphere was invented by Dr. J.H. Purvis and offered a cabin within the circumference of the wheel for the driver and one passenger to sit. The June 1932 issue of Modern Mechanics explained how it worked. Inside the wheel, on either side, tracks run completely around. The motor is geared to the track so that when the engine is started, the motor pulls the track toward it, and so starts the wheel in motion. Center of gravity is low to prevent the wheel from tipping over. The weight of the motor and driver is sufficient to keep them always parallel with the ground. If the driving apparatus were sufficiently light, the motor might conceivably climb up the geared track instead of pulling it and the attached wheel around. Speeds over 30 miles an hour with 2 occupying the seat have been comfortably attained. The lattice work of the front of the driver's eyes disappears when the wheel is in motion, flashing past so rapidly that he has a good view of the road he is traveling. And Purvis created 2 different prototypes of the Dynasphere. There was a larger one that featured a gasoline motor that was capable of 2.5 horsepower, which was enough to propel the 1,000-pound wheel. The other prototype ran on electricity. And in 1935, Purvis also developed a bus version that was capable of holding more passengers, and it looks ridiculous. If it were not for the difficulties in steering and braking and having no protection from the elements for riders, it is possible that the one-wheel electric cars and buses could have taken over the roads and totally changed the course of automotive history. But it wasn't enclosed. I think the bus was enclosed.
Yeah, that's what
but
I was just looking at.
But it was like, I think it probably just too big, honestly. But yeah, if the wheel was like enclosed, it probably would have actually taken off.
Right. Well, keeping with that same theme, my next one is illuminated tires.
I think I saw this too.
These tires, manufactured by Goodyear, made sure that you turned heads when you took your drive down the street at night. In today's time, they found a less costly and efficient way to produce these, we may not have ever been subjected to the LEDs on all the Yee trucks that are jacked to Jesus, but only on the front half because the back half is too busy being weighed down by a bag of dicks.
I wish that was illegal.
Right.
It should be. They can't see the road.
These tires were made with 18 internal light bulbs. The picture that we're going to include on our post shows them installed on the Golden Sahara 2, which was a concept car from 1954. This car was restored in 2019, including the actual Goodyear illuminated tires. I typed Goodyear glowers.
Nice.
But it is pretty cool looking.
My next one is the loop-to-loop double bicycle. In 1905, inventor K. Lang came up with a bicycle that he thought could do an impressive loop-to-loop within a circular track. Lang designed a double bicycle, which was basically just 2 bicycles welded together with one on top of the other, and the rider sat between the 2 of them. The idea was that all 4 wheels could connect with all surfaces, as the upper part would take over from the bottom wheels while riding on a flat surface. And this is one of those sentences that as I was typing it, I was like, does this make sense? Maybe this will make sense when I read it later. It does not. I don't understand. There isn't much known about this experimental bike, but the design would give a higher potential to injure, maim, or kill the rider, and this was possibly the reason that it never passed the patent stage.
I can't wait to hear you pronounce this next one. Your next one.
My next one? Yeah.
All right, so my next one's pretty humorous. The butter protector.
No, I didn't see this one. This is the first one I did not see.
So this is like a crazy cage-ish, spider-ish looking invention of the 1950s, and yet another brainchild of Russell E. Oakes.
He should just give it up.
Oh, I got another one. It was brought about because, why would you move the butter out of your way before you reach across the table and accidentally run your arm through it?
Oh, no.
You just stick a cage over it so that you don't do that.
Yeah. What if you don't put the cage back over it? And then you have the same problem you started with.
But it absolutely did not protect from bugs or anything like that. It was literally
It's a cage. It's not a cover.
It's not even, it's like...
Did they not have butter dishes? They had butter dishes.
It's in a butter dish. Like, in the picture, the butter is in a butter dish, but it's literally, like, it's It's I don't even know how to
like,
describe that.
It's stupid is how you describe it. He did his best. He was just trying to make a buck. And I can support that, I guess. So I'm ready for my next one?
Yep, go for it.
So it's either the Nico-mimi or the Neko-mimi. The late 19th and early 20th centuries weren't the only years of bad inventions. Invented in Japan in 2012, this novelty headgear utilized impressive science for what many saw as a frivolous gimmick. The person wearing the device would don the large mechanical cat ears attached to a headband that measures brain waves and allows the ears to react to the wearer's moods at the time. So when relaxed, it's so stupid. Like, the science behind it is incredible, but it is used for the dumbest thing.
I'm looking at it, too, like...
So, when relaxed, the cat ears would droop, and when alert and focused, they would perk up and wiggle. Apart from the expense, one of the primary reasons that the Nico-mimi did not take off was that it is also incredibly fragile and can break very easily. And this is why the manufacturer advises it to not be worn in a motor vehicle.
All right, then. My next one, spring shoes. These shoes featured springs in the heels to absorb shock and ease foot pain, and maybe add a little gusto to your walk. I feel like I would be unsteady as hell in these.
This is giving me Nike Shox vibes.
Exactly. So this was of course before the wonderful days of insoles and such. It's like the 1930s version of the Nike Shox.
Yeah. You remember when everybody had to have those?
Oh, I had several pair of Nike Shox. My white Nike Shox with the pink accents.
Oh, yeah.
That was my key thing. That was my thing.
Alright, my next one is the family bicycle. So, also known as the Goofy Bike, the family bicycle was created by Charles Steinloff. And I will definitely be posting a photo of this one to our Facebook page that shows the entire Steinloff family on this bicycle. Isn't it the strangest thing you've ever seen? I can tell you're looking at it.
Yeah, I'm Googling these.
In the photo, the inventor rides at the top and guides his contraption with a huge automobile steering wheel. His wife sits below operating a sewing machine, while their son pedals behind and their daughter rides on the handlebars in the front. Rather than a traditional kickstand, when the contraption is at rest, the projecting legs of the sewing machine prevent it from falling over. You can still purchase a 4-person bicycle, but it'd be really hard to find one with a sewing machine on it.
Right. Alright, so my next one, it's a mustache shield.
Oh gosh.
A literal shield to save your mustachio.
From what?
From food and drinks.
I know they used to have the teacups with the mustache.
Yeah. This is literally like around your ears.
That's stupid. That's so stupid.
In what I
typed.
typed.
This to stupid inventions.
In what I typed in all caps. Really use a damn napkin and get on with your life.
Right.
This was invented.
Or just keep food in it like Daniel does.
It's leftovers. Save it for later.
Yeah, stinky.
I was about to go somewhere really, really, really inappropriate and gross with it, but I'm not. This was invented by Virgil A. Gates in 1876. Can you imagine being in a restaurant and seeing all of the men pull one of these little damn things out to eat? I swear to God.
Can you imagine being the one man without a mustache being like, y'all look stupid?
I swear to God. I would give TJ so much shit for something like this. Like, oh my God. Do I want to go where I was thinking? Do we want to take it to an inappropriate place or just let it go?
Just let it go.
Okay.
Amphibiocycle. So in the early 1900s, there was an amphibious bicycle that was invented to be used on both land and in water. The general idea was that both of the wheels and floats would be incorporated into the design, but appearances could vary widely. This gave the riders the ability to ride over all those pesky lakes and rivers and didn't want to interrupt the carefree bliss of bicycling freely. There you can still get water bikes today, but they promise high performance, excellent balancing capabilities, and maneuverability. So, I don't think those other ones were doing all that.
Is this my last one? Yes. This one's pretty stupid. You need to Google this one. An automatic tip requester.
Oh no.
Here we go again with old Russell E. Oakes. He was really on his shit. He thought this one up in 1955. It was like a belt with a metal hand with a hole in it that was connected to a tube that dropped down to a box. It was worn so that the
hand... tiny hand?
Huh?
That's a tiny hand.
It was worn so that the hand was on the back of like a bellhop. That's who it was marketed toward.
That is stupid.
So, but if the tip amount dropped into the hand was not high enough, the box had like a little slide on it that would flip around to say no sale.
That's crazy.
And of course,
that's disrespectful.
We're gonna include a picture of this, but this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
First of all, it's stupid looking. Second of all, Mr. what is his name? Russell? Give it up. Right. God, you suck at this job.
Right. Like, this person got a whole hand coming out their ass.
Stupid. The water taxi. In Somerville, Massachusetts, if travelers needed to cross the rivers in the area but didn't want to deal with the hassle of a ferry or a rowboat, they could have hailed a water taxi for on-demand service. This is a service that is still offered today, but probably looks a little less sketchy than the original water taxis, which was basically a Model T with what looks like metal barrels as flotation devices. It's sketchy.
Yeah.
As of 2019, the ride-hailing app Uber has a water taxi service in Mumbai. And apparently, once upon a time, there was one available in downtown Nashville.
Oh, nice.
Which closed before 2007, because it was asked in some forum I found on TripAdvisor, and it was like it said 16 years ago. 2007 was 16 years ago. And that hurt my feelings, first of all, because that was when we graduated high school. But, yeah, apparently there used to be a water taxi.
Okay, so I'm going to add one.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you got one more.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remembered that I saw this one. It's called the Tomatin. It'll make sense in a second.
Okay.
It's a wearable robot that feeds you tomatoes.
Nobody needs that.
It's invented by...
Did Russell invent it?
No.
Thank God.
It's invented by somebody... It's a Japanese juice vendor, Kagome. It's like a big backpack, basically, and it fits over your head. It has a timer. And it literally has, like, an arm. There's a YouTube video on this website. It's in one of the ones that I used.
Mm-hmm.
But it literally, like, the arm reaches over its back, gets the tomato, and then puts it to your mouth so that you can eat the tomato while you're just walking down the street.
I hate this.
Right. I like how you, like, some of the ones you did were, like, actual functioning, like, things.
Yeah.
And mine are all stupid.
Well, my next one's stupid.
Yeah, it is. Because I wanted to do this one. And I had a whole funny ass thing about it. And then I was like...
do it. Did you delete it?
I deleted it.
Oh, that's a shame.
But I'll remember as you're going through.
So, in the earliest 20th century, there were all sorts of inventions being produced. And in 1963, inventors were looking for a new, better way to build a mousetrap. The cat mew machine was the solution for homeowners in Japan to scare away rodents. The eyes of the machine would light up and the cat would meow 10 times every 60 seconds. And that sounds like an absolute nightmare.
Exactly. That's what I said. That sounds awful. So it looks like it's going to deter rodents as well as visitors. And possibly the people
Nobody's going to live there. Nobody's going to live there.
That's exactly what I said on mine. This is a short episode.
This is a short episode. We are just at 30 minutes. So.
Oh. Well, Happy New Year. Y'all get a short one.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I've got the nonprofit of the week, and I have chosen Baby to Baby. Which Baby to Baby is a national nonprofit that provides children living in poverty with diapers, clothing, and all of the basic necessities that every child deserves. And as of when I found this information, they have distributed 375,287,643 items. And there are several ways to get involved within the organization. There are many volunteer opportunities. You can become a sponsor, or you can just donate to help fund these basic necessities for children. And there isn't like a specific link to donate, but there is if you decide that this is an organization that speaks to you and you want to donate, there is a drop down menu on the right side of their website where you can scroll all the way down and click, and then a donate window, like a pop-up window, will open and it asks you how much you want to donate.
I'm looking at the website now to see if there's an updated number and see if it's changed any. What was it? 375, 287, 643. No, it hasn't changed.
Okay. I think I just got this information yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So, but all right.
Well, it's a short one this week. We appreciate you coming. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We hope that you guys have had an amazing holiday. It's time to get back to work and back to real life. So follow us on the socials like TikTok,
Instagram,
Facebook,
X.
Email us at wondersofweird@gmail.com.
Getting the sillies. We're so tired. If you didn't get us a Christmas gift, you can get us a New Year's gift. We have an Amazon wish list.
It's not too late to send me a birthday present.
No.
My mom's birthday's in a couple days now.
It's not too late to send me one, even though mine was in August and none of you got me anything.
Now it's just an early birthday present.
Yeah, now it's early. Super early. Yeah. So we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.